Hello and welcome to my video. Today we're going to talk about the objective to subjective to sublime, our spiritual journey. We live on a physical world where physical laws are unalterable, objective. We also strive to ascend in the spirit realm, a land where thought alters the environment, subjective. Then, someday, far into the future, we shall rise even higher into the sublime. Let's explore this further. The Spirit Arnell explains that atoms are made up of ethereal matter vibrating and spiraling along different paths. Atoms in our physical world are created from elements which originated in the spirit realm. This ether, also named universal fluid in Spiritist literature, is moved, directed, and guided by a force, mind waves from spirits. Arnell tells the Reverend G. Val Owen how the atom is created from etheric atoms directed by the wills of spirits. This salient fact is the basis of all what we see on Earth. Now, this is the basic substance of which your planet is made. From what I have already said, you will see that this substance is continuously correspondent to a spiritual energy directed upon it from the inner or higher realms. This being so, then it follows that the whole of the planet Earth, in all of its parts and details, is also continuously engaged in displaying outwardly the effects of spiritual causes. Hence, not only high spirits, the originators of our solar system and planets, are directing the physical appearance and state of Earth, but the collective wills of billions of discarnate spirits and physical beings are constantly shaping the world by radiating thoughts flowing from their minds. This is an important point, for we are told that when the Earth has a majority of enlightened souls residing on our planet, only then can we truly become a planet of regeneration. Therefore, each one of us plays a part in elevating this world to a superior level, a stage of beauty, truth, love, charity, and honesty. Our collective mindset, along with our spirit guides above, will affect the transition of our dense planet to a lighter vibrational state, more in harmony with other advanced planets. Wars, hate, and envy will become distant memories, replaced by cooperation, love for nature, and fraternity amongst all people on Earth. Our current spiritual diversity on Earth has a wide range of souls radiating thoughts of materialism, desires of accumulating even more, and other selfish emotions are mixed with higher emanations of love, fraternity, and care for our environment. The Earth is a melting pot of light and dark desires, each force attempting to influence the other consciously and subconsciously. This swirl of influences is a constant on Earth and in the lower spirit spheres encircling our globe. Arnell tells us that even souls in the first 3 levels of heaven are exposed to thoughts and emotions ascending from the planetary surface. Therefore, while our own thoughts influences our environment, they are not focused or in agreement. Diversity is allowed because all of us are granted free will. We can think and do as we wish, but there are consequences to our actions, and through the resulting lessons we must experience, our character and mindset slowly purifies itself and our primitive desires fall off and are replaced by higher ideals. But in the meantime, while the churning of emotions swirl around us, we really don't live in a world of our own making, but in a world made for us, the source of all free will. Arnell explains to G. Val Owen that at the center is God. God is the fountainhead of all free will. Everything spreads out from him to all of the lesser creatures, who again comply with giving free will to souls under their command. Each successive layer of spirits outward from God's core creates their own environment by the exercise of their own choice. Those closest to God have the most range of free will, and hence they themselves create their own kingdom along the lines of their desires, while those further out also may create their own environments, but they are influenced by the creations of the spirits superior to them. Hence, Arnell states that the environments of the higher beings are subjective, meaning conforming to their own frame of reference and wishes, while the amount of variation decreases as one descends down the ladder, where on the levels surrounding Earth, the subjective becomes the objective. The environment appears more fixed, less dynamic, due to the weak and conflicting influences of the spirits, incarnate and discarnate, upon their surroundings. Arnell continues with his message. In Earth, the environment is objective very greatly. As you rise in the spheres near and nearer to the central energy, whom we call God, the environment becomes the more sublimated in substance. It is therefore the more easily molded into conformity with the wills of those who inhabit. So, I say, their environment becomes more and more subjective the higher we go. This is another way of saying these high beings, because they absorb more of the environment into themselves, become, ipso facto, the more universal. They compass within themselves more content of space or being, or what other counter you will use to reckon them in their several degrees of power. The Creator sums up and includes within himself the whole of space or being, and so becomes universally subjective. His is his own environment. Considered from the innermost outward, this is the omnipresence, and, inversely, it is unity. Therefore, the further one travels in distance from the source of all, the central energy, the more objective, the more fixed is the environment. Arnell finishes his description. On the planet Earth, it is frankly material. In the region next in order above Earth, it is less material and more ethereal. Then it is ethereal, and then it is spiritual, and then it is spiritual, but more sublimate. From material to ethereal to spiritual to sublime. Arnell has laid out what is in store for us in our quest to become a pure spirit. We exist in our school of earth, taking classes life after life. We bounce back between material to ethereal as we incarnate, die, emerge in the spirit world, incarnate again, for countless years. When we are immature spirits, we live in the spirit world, still tied to the material ideas we had while in the physical life. Although the conditions are different, our thought patterns are locked into earthly ways. We do not understand the range of freedom we actually have. We are imprisoned into what we know and expect. Arnell reinforces this lack of comprehension of a person coming to the spirit realm. But nearer the earth, the environment does seem, to those who have lately come over, much material, because they have not yet learned fully the great change which has come upon them as to their subjective state. This new state answers to their new environment so naturally that, until they begin to do things, they do not realize how responsive over that of earth is the basic substance of that sphere into which they be newly come. They do find it then, and full often with shock, like child and fire. Eventually we mature. We comprehend that in the spirit realm our thoughts have power. Once we humbly accept the light, we are trained how to exercise that power. We reach a spiritual plateau. As we continue to grow and learn, we rise to levels unimaginable to us while we were sitting in our classes on earth. We begin to experience sublimity. We come closer to God. We can use our love to create worlds of our desires. We live where we wish to live, in an environment of our choosing, although still limited by the parameters set by God and spirits superior to us. Your life is as you make it. There are many people who believe that the afterlife is all up to us, that we create the environment for ourselves that we desire. If one goes to a hellish place, then that is because of the fables and myths that the person absorbed and believed in. If one goes to a heavenly place with clouds, harp music, and bright light everywhere, then again, that is solely due to preconceived ideas. They are correct to a point. We do create the environment we live in, but after only eons of training. Upon death, we neither have the knowledge or skill to fully create an entire new world. Our minds are not developed or focused enough to filter out the pre-existing ideas which surround us. Hence, unbeknownst to us, we tend to journey where we are most comfortable with the ideals in which we identify. We conform to the environment. We don't realize by changing our outlook, we will either change the environment or will rise to a new level where a majority of people believe and act like we do. This is the law of affinity. Therefore, prepare yourself to where you wish to travel in the afterlife now. Think the thoughts that will allow you to be with people you wish to live amongst. Then you can live in the part of heaven you so desire, and from there start to climb to wholly create your own paradise. If you are interested in how you rise from an environment made for you by superior spirits, the earth and the lower levels of heaven, to an environment where you begin to influence the atmosphere all around you and who you are with, and how you create your own house, your own land, the entire landscape, please read my book, Spirits and the Spirit Universe. It will explain to you the power of a spirit, how they are educated, how they gather attributes the higher they go, and what you will eventually be. You will find out that what you have gone through on earth, the trials and tribulation, are all for an end goal of where you will have unimaginable power to create and help others. God bless.